What if the very thing you trusted to save you was a killer in disguise? We're talking about blockbuster medications, prescribed by doctors and taken by millions. They sat on pharmacy shelves, backed by the full faith of official approval, a symbol of modern medicine's triumph over illness. People took them, believing they were safe. But for some, they weren't. The truth eventually surfaced, not in a flood, but in a slow, horrifying trickle of reports. Heart attacks, strokes, and sudden deaths. These weren't just side effects. They were risks, hidden in the background. The miracle cures became nightmares, and the medicine cabinet, a crime scene. This is the story of how some of the most celebrated drugs became cautionary tales about trust, profit, and the terrifying limits of medical approval. Today, we pull back the curtain on 5 prescription drugs that were approved, prescribed to millions, and then quietly banned. Drugs that illustrate a disturbing truth. Sometimes, the dangers are hidden in plain sight until it's too late. First, let's talk about Oxbryta, also known as Voxelotor. This drug was approved in 2019, heralded as a new treatment for sickle cell disease. For patients desperate for relief, it offered a glimmer of hope. However, that hope was short-lived. By September 2024, Oxbryta was withdrawn globally. Clinical trials, the very bedrock of drug safety, revealed an alarming truth: an increased risk of vaso-occlusive crises and, critically, a higher rate of death in patients taking the medication. Millions had taken it, unknowingly exposed to a heightened risk that was only fully understood after widespread use. Next, we turn to Aduhelm, or aducanumab, a drug that sparked intense controversy. In June 2021, it received accelerated approval for Alzheimer's disease, despite conflicting data and significant concerns from independent experts. It was marketed as a breakthrough, a potential game-changer for a devastating condition. Yet, persistent safety concerns regarding brain swelling and bleeding, coupled with a lack of proven clinical efficacy, ultimately led to its voluntary discontinuation in February 2024. The promise of Aduhelm dissolved, leaving behind questions about the approval process and the risks patients undertook for an unproven benefit. Our third example is Ukoniq, or umbralisib. Approved in February 2021 for certain types of lymphoma, it was another drug meant to extend lives. But within a little over a year, in June 2022, Ukoniq was withdrawn from the market. Why? Because subsequent clinical trial data starkly demonstrated an increased risk of death and severe safety issues when compared to existing, standard treatments. Patients were being prescribed a drug that, in hindsight, put them at greater risk than the very conditions it was supposed to treat. Then there was Pepaxto, or melphalan flufenamide. This drug received accelerated approval in February 2021 for multiple myeloma, a serious blood cancer. But the accelerated path often comes with caveats. By October 2021, just 8 months later, Pepaxto was withdrawn. A Phase 3 trial confirmed a higher risk of death associated with its use. The final FDA approval order was even revoked in 2024, underscoring the severity of the findings. This wasn't just about efficacy, it was about a treatment that actively shortened lives. Finally, consider Makena, or hydroxyprogesterone caproate. This drug was given accelerated approval in 2011, intended to prevent preterm birth in high-risk pregnancies. For over a decade, it was prescribed to countless expectant mothers, offering reassurance. However, the required post-market trials, designed to confirm its benefits, failed to do so. In fact, they proved Makena was ineffective at preventing premature birth or improving newborn outcomes. After years of debate, the FDA officially withdrew it, in April 2023. It wasn't that Makena was directly harmful, but it offered false hope and unnecessary treatment, a different kind of delusion. These 5 cases are not isolated incidents. They are stark reminders that the pharmaceutical landscape is complex, and the journey from approval to withdrawal can be fraught with hidden dangers and unfulfilled promises. Each drug represents a failure of the system, a moment where trust was eroded and patients were left to bear the consequences. Understanding these histories isn't about fear-mongering. It's about being informed, asking critical questions, and recognizing that even approved medications deserve scrutiny. And for another look at how medical information can be misleading, watch our video on 5 medical myths we still believe.